All right, gang's all here, and we got something important to talk about. We're talking about forgiveness, and we'll get into what that really means. Do you think that it means forget about everything? We got something for you. It's about that time, so let's get into it. Peace.
When I am asked to speak, I embrace the calling. It is my responsibility to make sure to leave everyone inspired to elevate in all aspects of life. In the 26 states and 10 countries, it has been my energy that is infectious and magical. The impact elevates everyone to new heights. It's time to conquer our challenges. Relationships across the board, communication gaps, fear of the unknown, limited beliefs, and all that holds us hostage in life. The path to power is peace, and peace is the power to live by. The unique perspective that I bring to the table inspires all, professionals, executives, students, coaches, and athletes, to reach their highest potential. That is why I, Sid McNary, am known as the secret weapon. Whether it is tackling mental health issues, success in business, or winning at life, every moment counts. Get ready to receive the tools to win. It's time to win at everything. Let's connect today. Peace.
Hello, my name is Miles. Discover a powerful journey of resilience, purpose, and spiritual growth in the autobiography of a human by Sid McNary. In this compelling autobiography, McNary shares the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped his path to success while offering insight for professionals seeking deeper meaning and balance in their own lives. Drawing from his experiences growing up Catholic, participating in indigenous vision quests, and studying the Buddhist path, he reveals how diverse spiritual traditions ultimately guide us toward the same destination: connection with the Creator and our highest selves. Through practices such as meditation, yoga, and spirit medicine, McNary demonstrates how life's victories and hardships can become opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting peace. The autobiography of a human is more than a memoir. It is an inspiring reflection for professionals striving to align purpose, personal development, and inner clarity. Available now on Amazon, this transformative story invites readers to reflect, grow, and step confidently onto their own path of self-discovery and peace.
Man, if your forgiveness is not giving you peace, you need to come on. You might need to come on the show so we can all talk to you, especially if you're a dude. No offense, ladies. We're here with the fellas. So let's get into it. What's up, guys? What's going on?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's going on?
Oh, life is good. Life is good. I just realized something about my life. Like I've done yoga, a long time in my life, like all different types of ways to do it. Yet I just started teaching again on the regular, like in person in our place. And now we've got a whole new series of things coming out on New Calm and Gaia and all the different stuff. But I've realized that it's the fountain of youth. Like,
great job.
Yeah, like how I feel looking in the mirror. Yeah, I'm like growing grays just to let people know that I've done some work.
Your wisdom is showing, Sid. Your wisdom is showing. That's awesome. Proud of you, man. I earned every one of these grays, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I earned them. My dad was fully gray at 27.
Oh, damn.
No, maybe he did because he started he read the whole dictionary, memorized every word in the dictionary by 3rd grade. I read it 3 times. Had literally knew every word. He's a certified genius, so maybe his grades were earned at that point in time. But yeah, how's everybody?
Good.
Great.
Good stuff. Outstanding.
What's a big win for anyone this week? What's been a big win?
Oh, man. I had a major win. I did my men's retreat in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and had more than 40 men come together. So to come together, man, and have these amazing conversations, and we actually talked about men's health. And it was fascinating just to hear how many men do not go to the doctor or do not put ourselves first, because sometimes we're worrying about the family, taking care of the family, that we don't take days off. And it was interesting because I was sitting next to a young man that had a sore on his foot. And because he put it off so much, now he's on the kidney list to get a kidney, going to dialysis, all behind a sore. So that was one of my wins this week.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, just to get, especially coming out of the pandemic, to get people gathered on those numbers, and then you cut out half the population. Still pulled it off. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. I'm gonna have to get your secrets, because we've got the men's retreat here in June, so I want to know how to get them here. Because I'm gonna pick your brain.
Please do. It's still a challenge, but it's as you see, when we get them together, it's nothing that we can't do. Even being on this amazing podcast, when you get men together, we're powerful.
Absolutely, especially men that have done some work and actually can acknowledge the other half of the population, can accept themselves enough to let go of the fears of everything that a lot of people do fear. So I think that's great. Anybody else? What's your win?
Yeah, I think it's also important just to learn to trust ourselves and what we know. My win is I was surprised to be nominated or selected. Both actually, Brad and I are in the top 250 agents for EXP out of 90,000 in the country, which is freaking amazing. I didn't know I was going to make the list.
Wow,
that was pretty wild, actually, because I mean, not that I'm not surprised of what I did and the work that I did to get there. I'm surprised that I made the 250, because I thought there were many more people doing much more than I am, right? So I was pleasantly surprised to do that. So I made icon, agent, and stuff. So that was kind of a cool win for me at the end of last week. So it was good to get that email from the CEO, and then get him invited to a private to some private masterminds for top producers. So that was really a cool thing. And Brad was in there as well. So, and Brad says hello, and he says he'll get back to you.
Yeah,
congratulations, Tony.
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's huge to be recognized in a group like that. I mean, those are people that are fighting to be at the top for sure, and for you all to be there, that's great. So congratulations to both of you. Anyone else? Anything? What's a great win?
My great win is I got to go see The Boss last night for the first time in my life, Bruce Springsteen, at the Kia Forum here in Los Angeles. Absolutely just a phenomenal show. The guy's 76 years old and inspired the crowd and rocked the crowd. And it was such a beautiful moving experience. But the big win this week is I don't really check my podcast numbers. We've been doing it for 7 years. And every once in a while I pop in there. But yesterday when I posted my podcast, I checked the last 28 days, the last 60 days, and the last 90 days. And usually they've been in the double-digit growth. But yesterday, all three were in triple-digit growth, with China surpassing Canada as the second largest demographic of listening to Raw and Unscripted. And I was just massively blown away. Brazil is in there. It's like all different quadrants of the world are really tuning into this program. So I was like, is that real? Like, I'm checking where they're tuning in from and everything. And yeah, so I'm hugely fired up and blessed that I get a chance to impact the world. So
thank you for gracing your presence here with us.
I enjoy being here with you guys.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Thank you. And yeah, great job. Congrats.
Thanks.
For me, as I'll just finish up, I'll make it quick. I get the blessing and privilege on the first Saturday of every month to host a conversation with about 35 to 40 men. And what we do, we put into practice out where a guy every session shares his story. And so last Saturday I had a gentleman who was a police officer for 33 years.
Whoa.
And sharing his story. And it was really wild because not only did he attend, but he brought 3 gentlemen that he's still helping today, his best friend, his 2 son-in-laws, and his 2 of his grandchildren, to share his story. And it was just really phenomenal because he said, well, how much time do I have? Well, I said, you go at 15, 20 minutes, end up being an hour, which was fantastic. And one of the wonderful things he said after, he said, is, I've always wanted to get my story out of me. And he said, ever since he wrote it down, he said he's been sleeping better.
Yes.
Yeah, emptied that brain.
Yeah, he just emptied it all out, but just having the power of the impact of him, not only him feeling better, but him sharing his story, and a lot of his intimate people that were there, they hardly knew any of this. So for him to just share some of that, and it was just so powerful, and it just really was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
That probably helps your sleep too, knowing that you're making that impact around the world.
Yeah, you know what? I just look for that little things. That's all. It's just little things. That's all it is. So it's something I wanted to do for a long period of time with this organization. I pushed to do it 5-6 years ago. It didn't happen. I just left it. And then about 2 years ago, hey, we want you to do this. I say, okay. So every month I'm hanging out with about 35 to 40 men, and we're just having great conversation. I bring a presentation, and usually it's about 10 slides. I never get past 2 because there's so much conversation.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
Love it. Well done.
Thank you.
Dr. V.
Brad, good job, guys. Everybody's got a good one. How about you, Sid?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going with this one, and it's surf season's back, and we went out Saturday and Sunday. So for me, that's it. And what was great about it really was coming off the water, how many people just stopped and talked to us and felt comfortable, of all shades of people. Yeah, I just love Jacksonville. It's real like that. Like, people are in community. Yeah. So that's it. I love surfing. So to get back out there again, when people think I'm younger, and then when they find out, they're like, "You surf?" I'm like, "Yeah." You see this board under my arm? You saw me on the waves. So yeah, I love that. I love that part of it for sure. All right, who wants to kick off this conversation of forgiveness? What's up, Coach Lee?
I guess I kick it off. Forgiveness is major, man. I got married in 1996. Wife and I, ex-wife at the time, got separated 2003. Got divorced at 2005. 2008, coming back from Iraq, I had my 3 children who was now in my physical custody. In 2010, I remember like it was yesterday. I was in my vehicle crying, thinking about all the things that we have went through in regards to the abandonment issues, the arguing, the fighting back and forth. And I realized, I said, man, I have to forgive her and forgive myself. And when I actually forgave her for all the stuff that we went through, man, I was at a place of peace. And I was able to get on with my life. And I didn't realize I was holding my life up because I was living in so much chaos that I didn't want to forgive. So when I started to forgive, it changed my whole life. And since then, I'm big on forgiveness. And forgiveness is not so much for the other person, but it's also for you. But at the same time, God cannot bless us if we're constantly holding on to things. So that was one of my big aha moments in life in 2010 when I actually forgave my ex-wife and started to live.
Well done. Well done. Anybody else? Who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. I'll say that forgiveness is a gift that you give for yourself more than for the person that you're forgiving. Forgiveness doesn't make it okay that person did or said whatever it was to you, but what it does is it frees you from that person. It cuts those energetic ties. And I've had to do a lot of forgiveness in my life along the way, and it's liberating. There's still someone in my life that it's been difficult to release because I was reoffended so many times, and there were so many things that happened that still have a lasting effect today. So we're not going to get into that. But for the most part, the forgiveness, like I said, it is about you more than it is for the other person. It does liberate them, but it's really about liberating you. I recently lost my dad, as I mentioned to you guys last week when we were together, or 2 weeks ago when we were together. And, it took me about 35 years until I was 35 that I was able to forgive my father for maybe some of the things that I didn't get and some of the things that did happen that shouldn't have, and a lot of those things, and understanding that. And I guess this is a good place to put this, that people can't teach you what they don't know. They can't give you what they don't have. I mentioned that to you guys before, but I'm fortunate that I did forgive him and released a lot of that. And I had 20 years with my dad, a good relationship with my dad that I never had before, because of the forgiveness, because of the understanding of what it took to get there. And of course, if you're going to blame someone for the bad things in your life, you've also got to blame them for the good, right? So that can help lead you to the forgiveness that you need to have in your heart to release them and release yourself. So, and again, I can go long on this, Sid. I'm not going to, but I'll just say this, that holding on to anger and resentment hurts you more than it hurts the other person. And ultimately, it's not just you that gets hurt. Like the saying that says, the Buddha said that holding on to anger and resentment is like holding on to a piece of coal and waiting for your enemy to come by so you can cast it at them. But your enemy doesn't come by. They're not even thinking about you. Sometimes we're offended by something someone did or said 20 years ago. They didn't even know that they hurt you. But because you stopped talking to them, all of a sudden they're no longer in your life. They don't know what happened. They're not thinking about you, but you are. So you're re-victimizing yourself time and time again over that same thing. And when you're holding that coal, you're not just hurting yourself, because when you're in pain, you show up as a dumbed down, dimmed down version of yourself to everyone in your life. So you're hurting the people that you love and care for the most, your spouse, your children, your friends, your clients, and the people that you could reach and touch and make an impact. You're getting a dimmed down, dumbed down version of you. So forgiveness is essential. It is one of the express pathways to happiness, right there with gratitude.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you for sharing that, Tony. I totally echo what you guys are saying. And I can count a lot of experiences on my bingo card where I've decided to forgive people, but I'm gonna take it in a different spin. One of the things I've helped a lot of my coaching clients with is the ability to forgive themselves, right? So oftentimes we don't forgive ourselves. We beat ourselves up, like you're saying, Tony. We beat ourselves up over and over again. God, when I did that. God, when I did that. And so I ask people, like, how many times did you do that? Well, I did it once or twice. I'm like, how many times have you beat yourself up for it? Hundreds, thousands. I'm like, how's that working out for you? Right? What would it be like if because we're carrying this weight around. You're talking about carrying a piece of coal, Tony, which is great. I tell people, like, you're carrying this sack around of, oh, look at this. Woe is me. Look at, I'm a victim. I did this and I did this to myself and I always suck and I never get things right. And I ask my clients, I'm like, what would it be like if you just went like this? How different would today be in the moment if you let go of that sack of weight that you've been carrying around, that you've been punishing yourself, that you've been self-sabotaging yourself with? What would change for you tomorrow? And immediately you see the lights go on, like, I never thought about that. I never considered that, And I'm like, okay, good. So forgive yourself. Realize that all the different steps in our life, the mistakes and the failures, are all designed to teach us. But if you're sitting there holding on to it, have you really learned the lesson? Have you really learned the lesson? And have you learned the lesson? Well, I think so. Okay, well then let that go. The lesson is learned. You need to release that stress and that anger, because like you said, Tony, it's amazing what you can do for the people around you. So I shift the perspective and I say, okay, who do you love the most in your life? And they'll say my son, my wife, my mom, whatever. And I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love them? I love them a 10. I'm like, okay, so how much do you love yourself? 4. I said, okay, so how much do you really think you're giving to that person you say you love the most? Are you giving them a 10 or are you giving them a 4? Yeah, I'm giving them a 4. And I said, no, you're probably giving them a 2 because you're all caught up in your shit. So how about this? How about you start treating yourself a little bit better? How about you change the narrative that's going on between your ears and think about, what my thoughts were being amplified out right now. Would I be proud of the stuff that I'm saying to myself? And you catch yourself and like, what would the future version of myself do if they didn't have this bag of shit that they were carrying around with them? And you start seeing the wheels turn. I'm like, okay, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to happen. And it's not easy, but put a rubber band around your wrist and snap that mother trucker whenever you catch yourself saying, oh, I always screw up, or I never do that. And just sit there and say, you know what? I'm a work in process. And progressively over a period of time, usually it takes about 6 months, they start to change that narrative in their mind. Like, yes, I am powerful. Yes, I am strong. Yes, I am loving. That is no longer that version of myself. That doesn't suit me anymore. I'm becoming this person. And that forgiveness to sit there and say, you know what? I didn't know what I didn't know at that point, but now I know. And now I choose to take that lesson and move forward with it, and perhaps even help other people by sharing that story. And it's incredible what I've done for people in being able to share situations in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking drunk and drove that time. Oh yeah, I did this. Oh yeah, I made an ass of myself at a party. Fuck, I sucked. Da 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 da. Change the narrative. I'm not that person anymore. I'm pretty awesome. And I learned quite a bit out of those experiences. So I'm grateful for those. So yeah, self-forgiveness is massive for people.
Yeah. I'll jump in here, and for myself and maybe for others here, some of the things that forgiveness helps with me, it reduces stress in me. It reduces anxiety, depression. Also too, it rewires my brain for empathy, right? And men, and I know I'm not a man that I've assisted, empathy, like forgiveness gives them emotional freedom, and also better leadership at home, and letting things go. This whole thing, and I hope we get to the point of saying, why is it, or what makes it so hard for so many men to forgive? What's the barrier? So I'll just leave it at that right now. What are the barriers for so many men for hard when you say forgiveness? That's like chameleon into solids for a lot of men when it comes to forgiveness. So I'll just leave it right there.
And I'll pick it up. Forgiveness is for giving away. That's it. It's not about forgetting, because if you forgive a snake for biting you, forget that it's a snake, you will likely still get bit. It just is what it is. And if it's venomous, you are going to die because you forgot that it was just being a snake. Most people aren't doing anything to you that they wouldn't do to everybody else. They're doing it because that's who they are, has nothing, very little to do with you. And so probably the greatest forgiveness in my life came for forgiving my father. You know, we had a interesting, explosive relationship growing up. I was explosive, and in order to try to break a cult, he had to be explosive from the place of what he learned from a father who was born in slavery. Like, and when I realized what he went through, it allowed me to look at him differently, to have compassion for what he became because of it. And then that freed me, and it freed me for many different moments. It freed me for racism. I had old white guys that I'd coached for, and the racism that was passed down, when I forgave that and looked at the depth of what my grandfather had been through, I was able to move beyond racism even. So it freed me. Yes, my dad, I've watched my dad shift over time in his own place, and the freedom that I have allows him to be free. When just the other day, trying to get a message out for his video to be shared at a friend of ours' funeral and mine, and he couldn't upload it. Typically, he would have been frustrated, especially since they had already worked on it for 8 hours. So when we missed the first time, and I was able to still see him and be okay with, all right, this isn't personal. This is just my dad frustrated with what he wants to do. And then the next thing I said, all right, we're going to do this. You're going to be me, and I'm going to log you into my Dropbox. I'm going to upload it, and everything went smooth. And he was like, man, what? You do this all the time? I'm like, yeah, you know, I do it all the time. He's like, yeah, I thought about that. Well, you could have called me first. And it's okay, you know. And he laughed, and then we called the people, and it was just easy. That's what forgiveness looks like to me, is letting go of something that is holding me back. It may free the other person too. It may not. That's on them. But yet, in my dad's case, we were both free. We got to laugh, and it was easy. And I think that's an important thing. I mean, Ray said it. Hurt people. I mean, yes, that's absolute. People that are hurting, It's not personal. They're just bringing the energy that they are. And most people, I think, if they can't share the stories, they're actually still hurting about them. If you can share the stories and actually get deep into it, you've likely let it go. And at some point, it's like Charlie Brown. Remember Charlie Brown? They would talk, and then you'd hear the teacher in the background, blah, 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 blah. If your story doesn't just sound like blah, 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 blah in your head, that story's eating you up. And I'm going to pause there, leave it open for anybody else.
So I agree with Ray's
I want to build on what you're. Oh, good.
No, I'll quickly. Hurt people. You're right. But here's the thing. Heal people. And that's an important thing to remember. And the other thing I just wanted to add to that, and then, I'll pass the stick, is, we have to, again, you were talking about the snake, Sid. And I think that, you got to look at people in similar ways. But you have to accept them for who they are, but put them where they belong. Right? Because you can't hate a zebra for having stripes. It's not a black horse with white stripes. It's not a white horse with black stripes. It's a freaking zebra. It's not, so if you don't want to see the zebra, don't go to the damn zoo. Right? So just put people where they belong. But when people show you who they are, believe them. Just put them where they belong. Just accept people for who they are. We can't change people that don't want to be changed, and it's not your job to change anyone. So
love it. Chris, go for it.
Yeah, what Ray said was very important. People who have helped me write my memoir that's coming out later this year have asked me, how did you find a place to forgive your mom? And the long and the short of it is that I grew up in a very abusive household, mentally, physically. Actually, I was just right by my house that I grew up in Inglewood last night. It was pretty crazy, and all these memories came flooding back. But we went through being homeless and all this different stuff. And it wasn't until I was writing the book and I got to this part where she had told me, she goes, I did the best I could with what I could, or did the best I could, at that point, she's, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And I thought about it and I kept saying, it's bullshit. I'm like, you're a smart lady, you know different. But in writing the book, I thought, how can I have forgiveness for her? She's passed away now. I was there and held her hand and got closure with that. But I thought, how can I find forgiveness for her now that she's gone? How can I release some of this anger and this animosity that's not healthy for me? And it suddenly occurred to me, I had this little flash and I thought, okay, if I grew up when she grew up, if I was born in 1942 as a female to parents that were under the age of 25, in those economic times, in those political times, in all those different times, and I had the experiences that she had with they got divorced. My grandmother and grandfather got divorced and she went and lived with my grandmother. My grandmother had 6 verifiable psychiatric disorders. And I thought, if I went through all of those experiences, found the validation through sex and drugs and all other stuff and got all fucking caught up on that, might I have turned out like her? And my immediate response was, no, you know better. And you see what other people are doing. But then I stopped and I thought, Chris, not everybody's like you. And she did the best she could with what she had. She didn't give you up for adoption like she was going to. And it made me, instead of have anger and animosity and frustration and disappointment, and all those different emotions, I suddenly had empathy and sympathy for her. And I picked up a picture. I have some pictures in the book, and I picked up a picture of her as a little girl. And it doesn't really look anything like her. And I looked at her and I'm like, you poor thing. You went through so much. You still became a very bright and intelligent woman. But it allowed me to see things through her eyes versus my eyes. And I realized in that moment that I took responsibility for wanting her to be like Mrs. Brady or Mrs. Cunningham or Mrs. Cleaver, whatever you want. And that was unfair for me to put onto her, or for her to be like the lady's mom down the street that made their kids snacks and did all the fun stuff. And they went on vacations, had furniture in their house. And in that moment, I just felt a sense of release from my body. And I have helped so many people experience that with other people in their life. Like, just see, like you were saying, Tony, like, see them where they're at, find the goodness in them. Like my wife and I were talking last night about all the different shit that I went through. And I said, I'm the man I am today because I chose not to let that define me. I chose to sit there and say, okay, there's another example of what not to do. And I worked my ass off to realize, okay, you don't cut people down. You don't call them names. You listen to them and you build them up, and you see the opportunity for greatness, and you see what it is that you have in common. And so by doing that, we can take responsibility and accountability for ourselves and find that person in a different light. And that just brings about more love. And so that's what really helped me. And so I thank Ray for sharing that, because yeah, that's been pivotal in my life and in so many other people's life too.
I'd like to add on to what you stated, Chris, in regards to love. Love is very important, but at the same time, one thing men need to hear is there's a difference between forgiveness and access. And there's one phrase that Dr. Miles Monroe stated that stands with me today. Trust is a product of test over time. We can still forgive. We can still set boundaries and hold people accountable. And it's not weakness, it's wisdom. But at the same time, you're forgiving them, but don't mean they have to have access to you. I learned something from a friend, man, that was so important. And there's different levels when we're talking about forgiveness. And he asked me a question, and I'm going to propose this question to you, gentlemen. He asked me, when you think about this person and what they've done wrong to you, what is your thoughts? And he said, if your thoughts is anything of negative, have you really fully forgave them? Like, whoa, that's another level of forgiveness. If we still have an ill will and ill thoughts after we forgave the person, we got to ask ourselves, did we really totally forgive them? So that was a big epiphany for me when he told me that. And now I really look at myself when I'm forgiving people. Am I still having these negative thoughts after they've done wrong, after I've forgiven them? And at the same time, I'm still creating these boundaries to how much access I give them based off wrong that has taken place. So I just want that to sit there with you all. Forgiveness and access is two different things.
So if I could jump in there, Coach Hightower, I was just responding to someone, which this comment didn't come up here. So they're watching on my Facebook feed. And again, the very thing, she said, what if you forgive someone and then it still keeps resurfacing? And what I said to her is, unfortunately, that happens. And while you can't change the people around you, you can change the people you're around.
Yes.
Right. And you have to have enough love and respect for yourself and enough courage to leave the table and respect is no longer being served. That's it. We have to limit our exposure to toxicity. That means toxic people. And if it's somebody that's really close to you, and again, I don't want to get too personal, but if it's somebody that's really close to you, let's say that you're bound to them, right? Then maybe if it keeps happening and there's no changed behavior, you've got a decision to make.
I want to jump in on, and Coach, I want to build on what you said, and would lead to another question I have. Can a man forgive without trusting again?
Well, the only reason someone would not trust someone or something is because they aren't free. Like, I mean, now you can trust someone to be exactly who they are too. Like, you can trust that. Like, you can know it, you can trust it. It's not you're not making anything up. It's just, hey, this person's curses all the time or does whatever they do, like that causes to set up a boundary and whatever that looks like. For me, I trust God, so I don't really care what the people do. It's just real for me.
If I can give a perspective, so there's the analogy that gets said on trust. So this is a kind of a crisp dollar bill. I crinkle it up, right? It's still worth $1, but when I open it up, it's wrinkled, and I'll never really be able to get it back to the way it was. I mean, you can wet it, you can iron it, and you can get it kind of to where it was before, but it's never really the same. And the same thing can be said about a wine glass. You break a wine glass, it goes into a million pieces. You can find every piece and put it back together. It won't look the same, and it's not going to be airtight. You can rebuild trust, but it takes a very long time to build trust. It takes a second to break it and to lose that. So again, just treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you treat people like crap, then you gotta, that's what's going to come back to you, karma.
They do say that on every dollar. In God we trust. They don't say in this piece of paper. Right. In this piece of paper, I trust. No, you actually trust in God, and that's the only reason the dollar is even worth anything.
Right.
Well,
God is delivering what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the wrinkled dollar in the sense of rebuilding. Uh, yeah, I there was a question you asked at first, Dr. Vibe. What was that?
Well, I just asked the question, can you forgive without trusting again?
I mean, I honestly, you have to trust in something bigger than yourself. You know, I got to read this because my wife just chimed in, and I haven't seen her chime in ever. If I'm if I'm changing and growing every day, I hold space for others to grow and change too. I also have faith that God will deliver exactly what is meant for me.
That's beautiful. That's
That's why
beautiful.
I'm
And
married.
the reality is, guys, you can learn to trust again. But again, the best apology is change behavior, is what I tell my kids all the time. But if you apologize for it and you forgive them and they do it again, they apologize, forgive them, do it again, apologize, forgive them, you're just in a pattern. And again, in life, here's a great one. Here's a great line. I learned this one from my mentor many years ago. In life, you do not get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. So if you're going to tolerate somebody treating you badly time and time again, then apologize, you forgive, apologize, forgive, apologize, forgive, you're just going to get more of what you got. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. You know, and to answer Tony that was asking the question, if those people aren't even alive anymore, you need to forgive and let go to cut those spiritual ties, those energetic ties to the past, because they're not here. They can't answer for themselves. They can't apologize to you. You got to accept the apology that never came, and you've got to release them and forgive them. And the minute you do that, actually, depending on what you believe, their soul may change from one place to another, but it will certainly free you and free your soul. So you can forgive people that have hurt you in the past and already gone. You can forgive your grandparents, your great grandparents, you can send that forgiveness back as far as you like, because it's just going to free you.
So I think Dr. Vibe in the beginning asked about different tools. So here's the tool. You got these people that have crossed over into somewhere else. Are they gone? No. Once energy is in existence, it will always exist. It just transforms to something different. So when we do breath work, when I take people through breath work, when their cells get to the place that they are blocked in their body, those people actually appear. So yes, you can have those conversations. I've seen it. And the people are crying because the person is sitting in front of them and it's real. I've been there with people who have been raped by other people that have been harmed by their parents. And these people are gone and they really have those conversations and find freedom. You just have to get out of your own way.
Yeah. And it's remembering that forgiveness is for you, not them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are there different levels of forgiveness?
Yeah. And I think I said that earlier with different levels to forgiveness. You can forgive someone and still have these thoughts about them, still have these feelings about them. But you got to ask yourself, have you totally forgiven that person? And I like the question that you proposed, Dr. Vibe. And let's just think about this, gentlemen. You ask, can we still forgive and still trust? We're all entrepreneurs. We're all business owners. Mm-hmm. We have run into bad business deals and bad people. I can forgive them, but don't mean I'm going to have to trust you to do good business in the future. Now, you may change in the future, but right now, as stated, people show you who they are. I can forgive you and I can move on. But at the same time, I don't have to trust you. Difference between trust and forgiveness. I forgave you, but I don't trust you. You have to earn that trust. And this is where those boundaries come up. As Tony stated,
go ahead.
Even with the people that you may be connected with, it may not be the best relationships, but you know who they are, and you can forgive them. But don't mean I have to accept and tolerate, some of the behavior.
That brings up, thanks, Coach. I'll give a really quick story. It's interesting. A number of years ago, I was working on a deal with this other gentleman, and we got to the point where we disagreed on how we should put it out. And I said, you know what? I just wasn't feeling the right energy with him, and I just let it go. This is about 6 years ago. One of the shows I do is a show for men with two other gentlemen, and one of the gentlemen invited that gentleman back on the show. Now, the funny thing is, in between that 6 years, I've attended events that he has, supportive, etc. So he comes on the show and he said, you know what? I was really hesitant about coming on this show because the last time I was on Dr. Vibe's show wasn't a good experience. So, yeah, right there.
Wow.
So I said, okay. So I had a choice of how to handle it. I could confront it right then and there, which I didn't do. And I said, you know what? I just moved on. And I sent a message saying, you know what? I'm sorry if I've upset you. And, you know, this, that, hey, if you ever want to discuss and see how we can just move forward, fantastic. He's never contacted me.
Well, I think it's important to note that nobody can make you feel a damn thing. Your feelings are yours. I say what I say in here. Each and every one of you could have a different feeling about what I say. I can't, unless I'm a Houdini on fold, I can't do that. So my feelings have to be owned by me. Yeah. And that's on everything, which is why forgiveness is about you, because that other person ain't feeling what you feel.
Yeah, I forgave him, but it's up to him what he wants to do with that forgiveness. So now and I'm coming back to my question, would I trust him? I don't know about that, but I certainly forgive him.
I mean, you know, I think we got to go a little deeper on that, right? Like, would I trust them? I trust them to do exactly what they do. Like, and I'm actually gonna, and I do this all the time. Liz is here so she can verify that I let everybody back in the door, but the door is still open for you to walk the hell out.
Well, you already know what to expect from them, right? That's why I say accept them for the art, put them in their place. Yeah. So I trust that they're likely going to do that again, that they're likely going to say that again. So I've got to, again, have enough respect to walk away and set up the boundaries. I don't often quote Tupac, but I'm going to. Listen, I still want you to eat, just not at my table.
Well, another thing too is, and Chris, we all do our own coaching here. Some of my clients say the best way to find out a person is give them freedom. I've given this man freedom. I've forgiven him, and I've just given him freedom if and when he ever wants to come back. Who knows? But I've forgiven it, and I got it out of my system right then and there. Done. I move forward.
I think I'd go with this too. I'll go back to the essence of there's something bigger than me, God. And God can change all of it at any point in time. So who am I to say, I'm going to hold you in this experience that I had with you 20 years ago, 10 years ago, year ago, whatever, when God has the opportunity to shift that person. So like I said, I opened the door. Now, if you prove me to have been a fool, I'm going to get you back out the door quick. It's just real. And okay, so the next time you're going to have to do a lot more than just walk up to my door and me let you in. Like, you might have to actually talk to me, tell me what you did to change where you were, apologize, do whatever you need to do to get it clear so we can have a new relationship. But if we don't get to zero and you keep bringing me blue colored water, I'm going to expect the water to be blue. Like, no matter how much we add other than water in it, it's still got a hint of blue. And I think for me, it's just really getting clear on what does it look like for something to be clear. Forgiveness is, we got to zero. Like, if forgiveness and trust, we got back to a place of zero so we can start something new. But if you keep bringing that crap forward, that blue dye, I've got to assume you are blue water and I might not drink it.
You know, it goes back to that whole thing. It's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And if you fool me 3 times, then I'm only getting what I deserve because I didn't learn the lesson that life where you were trying to teach me. People come into our life for a reason or season or lifetime. And sometimes the reason is for you to learn the lesson so you don't fall again with that person or someone later on. We need to stop, pay attention, listen, and look back at our mistakes and our betrayals and things that happened to us, almost like a forensic pathologist, and understand what caused it and how did you fall? Were you tripped? Were you pushed? Did you slip? were you not paying attention? When you fell, who was down there to help catch you? Who was laughing at you, celebrating that you fell? When you were trying to get up, who was encouraging? When you were trying to jump back out of the hole, who was trying to throw rocks at you to keep you down, or who was trying to lift you up? And when you came back out of that hole, who tried to come back to your table that abounded you in your hour of need? So these are all things that you need to understand. Now, that doesn't mean you hate someone. That just means you understand who they are and put them in their place in your life. If they're in your inner ring, now maybe they're 1 or 2 rings out, maybe they're out of your life completely. So again, there are different levels of forgiveness, but there's also different levels of infraction of what may have happened or what that person may have done. But if they've done it 1, 2, 3 times, that's a pattern. If you're not recognizing it, then it's a decision that you have to make for your life, right? Everybody's different and situations are certainly different. So this is not a one size fits all.
That's great awareness, Tony. And I want to speak to all the fathers and men out there. Deion Sanders has said something that stuck with me. He said, "I don't want to be known as anything in life but as a great father." We got to ask ourselves, man, are we passing down healing or are we passing down hurt? And if we're not forgiving, actually, we're stopping our blessings. And that goes back to the dollar that you was talking about, Tony, and what Sid talked about, in God we trust. If it's in God we trust, if we're not forgiving, we're stopping a lot of blessings that can be flowing through us, flowing through our descendants. So it's different levels of this, but it's big on making sure we're forgiving so we're not blocking our blessings. And once again, forgiveness is for us, not so much for them.
All right, we're gonna bring this one home. We got 5 minutes, so takeaway or something you want to add. Like if you got Tony's always got a quote of some sort, something you want to give to people as we wind this up. We can go in any order. Whoever is ready, go.
I'll just make it short and sweet. Men and those who love them, forgiveness isn't forgetting; it's freedom for you first.
Yeah, Ray said, "Don't go to the zoo." Yeah, accept who they are, put them in their place. Just make sure that you put them in the right place, and remember that in life you don't get what you deserve; you get what you tolerate. And sometimes we're tolerating less of ourselves, a lesser version of ourselves. So we've got to forgive ourselves. Again, forgiveness and gratitude are 2 express pathways to happiness. So get over it, forgive yourself, let go, let God, if you will. And again, we need to forgive the people that hurt us in the past, because if not, all we're doing, again, love that saying, if you don't forgive what hurt you, you don't heal from what hurt you, you bleed on people that didn't cut you, right? So if you hang on to that anger, that bad relationship you had in the past, and you go into a new relationship, but you're bringing all that crap, guess what? That's why people are married 5, 6, 7 times. I don't know why they keep doing that, but because they keep bringing their past into their new relationship and punishing the man or the woman for the sins of the past. So forgive, let go, and find your way back to happiness.
Great point. I'll just say this, like, check your expectations. So oftentimes our expectations are a little bit distorted and a little bit higher than what reality will provide. So I encourage people to challenge what it is that you're expecting and ask yourself, is that realistic? Because when you check your expectations with somebody and say, hey, this is what I expect, is that realistic? Oftentimes you're going to find a conversation will ensue that perhaps your expectations are distorted. So when you have that, like, I expect you to do this and I expect you to do this, it's pretty crazy what you can find out about someone and yourself. So check your expectations.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You can still forgive and still keep boundaries. That's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you all. I'll see you back in the green room. It's been a great conversation. I'm going to wind it up with this. All of life is determined by your connection. If you are living in a place where you are carrying whatever forward from your forgiveness or need to forgive, you are carrying that forward and your life will continue to resemble it. All of life is determined by your connection. If you want to see love, become more love. Your frequency, your energy that's inside, your frequency is what you frequently see. You are attracting it. So if you want to get free and start to see something new, change inside and it'll all shift there too. All right. Peace. We'll see you soon.
peace. For so long, it seems like I've been sitting all alone. Would you know when the crew is coming through? They're the ones that will make anew. Gotta go, gotta flow, gotta choose the truth. We the ones that will raise the roof. Let's roll up and throw down. Let's go and feel the sound. Good vibes, one try. Can you feel me now? Be you, be me, be free. Go and take it till we bounce the beat. Take it to the streets, make a move the feet. I can slow it down, look in my eyes now. Just like you two want it fast. Spread them wings and make it last. God was the one to erase the past. Time to bring it forward and see the forecast. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. That was God's broadcast. That was God's broadcast. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace.